y'all, and welcome to the Crazy Sock Lady YouTube channel. My name is Kay, and this is my channel where I share all about my making adventures. Today I have a wide variety of things to share with you. I guess it is all knitting except for one thing. I started a new plastic canvas project, so I'm going to share that with you today. I'm super excited about it. It is April 25th. This is episode 227. I hope you've got something to drink maybe. I've got a cup of coffee and something to work on, and you're ready to catch up because there's a lot. I've got one finished object, works in progress. I have some things that arrived in the mail. We have a giveaway winner to announce from last episode and a couple little informational tidbits about summer sock camp, which we'll include later on. But we're just going to go ahead and start right in with the finished objects. I have family coming into town later today, so I'm trying to get everything done this morning so that I can get the house finished, getting ready for company to come. So we're just going to jump right in with all the things this morning. Finished object, I finished my Whispers in the Wind socks. For this, I did my Whispers in the Wind sock pattern, which you can still get 20% off of until the end of April using the code WITH20 on either Etsy or Ravelry. So this, I used the April Yarnable colorway Life is Short, Eat the Donut. And it turned out so good. I knew this yarn would be perfect for this pattern. And it definitely was. I'll show you the front. The pattern is only on the front of the sock. I love how the ribbing works down into the pattern. So good. Followed the pattern exactly. Didn't make any changes or modifications for this one. This was pair number 27 for the year. Ooh, I did not write down when I started or finished those. I've got my computer up here. So I'm going to pull up Ravelry really quickly because I need to pull it up anyways for some summer sock camp information. Let's see. I put a spot on here to put when I started and finished them, but I didn't. I did knit these Magic Loop US 1 2.25 millimeter ChiaoGoo 32 inch. And I started them April 13th and finished them April 20th. So that was on a Saturday. I finished them that Saturday, the 20th, and then immediately started my Freckled Whimsy socks, which we'll share in just a few minutes. So, works in progress. I have quite a few things to show. I have 3 socks going right now. I broke my 2 sock projects going at a time because somebody in my life is going through a really hard time right now, and when that happens, one of the things I think of to do is I'm going to make them something to brighten their day. So I cast on a pair of socks for this person. And I'll show those in just a minute. But let's start first with Wyatt's sweater. I'm just going to go down my list here. I have this in a bag from JM Yarn that she sent me to hold Wyatt's sweater. It's perfect. And this is the Savin by Megan Babin. As usual, not a whole lot to say on it at the moment, other than I will show my progress that I made within a week. I'm using Knit Pick Swish Worsted in Pinecone Heather. And I'm following the pattern exactly. I have a progress keeper from Twin Mountain Handcrafts on there, marking where I was last episode. So that is my progress for the week. Still doing 4 rows a day, and I am moving right along on all of the decreases and things. This section I thought looked a little funny, but this is how it looks. I looked up some pattern project pages, and that's how it's supposed to look. You stop doing the cables when you get the decreases into like a chart repeat, and you can no longer complete that. You stop doing the cables. So that's how it looks even on the main pattern page. I think it's a blue sweater, looks like that. So that is correct. I just have my cable needle in here. But yeah, not a whole lot to say, just working along. I did not finish this piece. Last week I think I said, oh, maybe I'll have this piece finished. No. I have at least one more week on this piece. As the sections I'm doing decreases more often now, as they get smaller, I may start doing more rows a day, but we'll see. If I only feel like 4 a day, that's all I'm gonna do. Because I've got a lot of projects going right now, as you will see. I've been asked, I was gonna say a lot recently, but this is a question I get a lot all the time, is how do you get so much done? You're a stay-at-home, mom / wife, you take care of the house, the family, like how do you get so much done? Right now, if you follow along on Instagram, that is, I'm going to say hands down, the best place to see what I'm working on throughout the day. And I normally put, if it's like the sweater, 4 rows, and then a check mark that I did my 4 rows for the day, or 30 minutes, check mark. Sometimes it might be like 45, but 30 minutes, check mark. Whatever my goal is for that project, that's what I do. And I cycle through quite a few of them as 30 minutes at a time, or 4 rows like the sweater. And you would be surprised at how quickly that adds up. I'm not sitting and doing that all in a row all day either. Like my jelly roll blanket, I'm doing first thing in the morning. I think I talked about this last week, but I'm doing that first thing in the morning, about 30 minutes. And that's my 30 minutes for the day on that. Then I don't pick up my knitting. It could be like I did that this morning at 5 a.m. It's now, we're getting close to 8:39 and I have not touched my knitting since. But when I do pick it back up, I will cycle through some more projects. I will do the 4 rows on Wyatt's sweater. Right now I'm doing 30 minutes on my granny stripe blanket, 30 minutes on my plastic canvas, and then 30 minutes on my English paper piecing. But again, those are not 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. I'll sit down like, okay, I have 30 minutes right now. Let's do 30 minutes on my granny stripe blanket. And then I'll get up and go do some things with the dogs, or some more cleaning, or switch laundry, put laundry away, whatever else needs done. And then I go back for 30 more minutes. Then it might be time for lunch. So I'll go have lunch and take the dogs out, whatever. It's not all the 30 minutes all in a row. It's spread out throughout the day on days that allow that. Not every day allows that. Today probably will not. So I will prioritize the 4 rows on Wyatt's sweater to make sure that those get done. And then we'll see what else I have time for. And then the rest of the day, if I have time for those 30-minute blocks for projects, then the afternoon, evening time, depending on where I'm at in the day, is on sock projects. Or if I leave the house, it's a sock project. So that's just kind of a little bit of how I fit my knitting into my day. And it might be that when I pick up my socks, I only have time for 2 rounds or 10 rounds. It might not seem like a lot at the time, but it all adds up. So I realize I do get a lot more done than most people because I don't work a job outside of my home. I don't work from home either, aside from, I do make money with some crazy sock lady things. But aside from that, I realize I do have more time to make than others. And then I do feel like I knit fairly quickly. So yeah, you can follow along on Instagram. I share my stories most days, what projects I'm working on, how long I worked on them, etc. So you can kind of see what I'm working on, keep up to date, and my kind of routine for my knitting. I am trying to get back into doing other things as far as plastic canvas, English paper piecing. There's so many things I want in my home that things that I've made. Like I want more tissue box covers. I want more cross stitch projects. So I'm trying to get back to doing some of those and adding them in. So that's why there's more projects and more 30-minute blocks, again, as the days allow. Not every day does, but trying to squeeze them back in. So I've shared on Instagram stories that I've been working on the plastic canvas this is only 2 days that I've been doing the plastic canvas and the English paper piecing again. So I've done 2 days worth of 30 minutes of knitting on the plastic canvas, and then 2 days worth of 30 minutes on the English paper piecing. I did not bring the English paper piecing down here to show today. I had said in the past when I would show it, I wasn't going to show it every week, but it is something that when I finish a completed flower, I will show the flower, and then I will show it when the flower is attached to the quilt top that I'm working on. So yeah, kind of a little, I did have a note to talk about that because I get asked all the time how I get so much making done, but didn't plan to include it right then. It was later on in the episode. But that's all right. Okay. White sweater, we did that. Let's talk show project progress on fingering weight jelly roll. A bag from Bags by Awesome Granny. Oh my gosh, my needle is sticking out the top. This is a pattern by Kay Jones, and I have some changes and modifications I've made to the pattern. Those are all listed on my Ravelry project page. I don't even think I said on this episode. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady. Right down below this video in the description box, if you look below the title, hit more, it's going to pull down some information for you. You can find links to everywhere that you can find me, links to project pages, links to shops that I talk about. All of that's right down there. All right, so I finished the strip that I was on the last time I showed this. Little duck markers marking where I was last time. So I finished that strip, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th strip, and then I started the 7th strip. So this is getting about 30 minutes of knitting. There we go. This is the 7th strip. About 30 minutes of knitting every morning. That's where I am right now. Just working away on it. I've had some questions about the needle, the like brand of needles that I'm using for this. These are Signature Needle Arts, but they are no longer in business. But I am using a 2.5 millimeter, but sadly they are no longer in business. So you cannot get those anymore unless, I guess maybe if you found someone selling some from their stash, but. Oh, we should move the marker. Because last week I forgot, and then I had to pull the episode up and see where I was. Oh gosh. This one's a little hard to get off. I have discovered that I like the lever back clasps better than, I don't even know what this one's called, better than this kind. The lever back ones are just easier. I have a hard time getting these open to clip them on and off. Okay. Now let's talk socks. Like I said, I have 3. Let's do the one you've seen. And then I have 2 new cast-ons since the last episode. These are the socks that I'm making for Wyatt in a bag from Barley Pearls. And the yarn I'm using is Leap of Faith yarn in the Spark color. There it is in the cake. And I'm still on the first sock. I think I probably have about 20 rounds left. It looks so funny because I'm doing a ribbed sock. So I'm just following the counts from my vanilla socks on 9-inch circulars. I'm using ChiaoGoo 9-inch circulars, US 0, 2 millimeter. And I've just done a knit 2 purl 2 rib all the way down. I did a total of 70 rounds for the leg, all in knit 2 purl 2 ribbing. So there's no like separate cuff. It's just all ribbed all the way down. And I do have a tutorial if you're curious about my markers. I have a video that shows how and why I do that. So yeah, I think I have about 20 more rounds until the toe. I checked yesterday. So these have just been getting work when I'm out of the house. That's the only time I've been working on those right now. And I haven't really been out of the house much this week when I like being the passenger in a car or waiting anywhere or anything. So they have not been touched much. I started these first. This is in a bag from Midwest Stitches. These are my Freckled Whimsy Christmassy Yarn Club April colorway. There's the label. It is Vintage Christmas. It is an 8-stripe repeat on her fingering weight base. I do get a sock set for this club. Oh gosh, my needles are stuck. So I get the full skein and then a mini skein as well. So you can see the back of the sock here. I am doing a pattern. I'll show you that in just a minute. You can see how it works up. I've done the mini for the cuff and the heel. And I am doing, of course, the heel toe do-si-do. If you've been watching every Christmas yarn club, I'm planning to have in this pattern. It just looks so good and self-striping. So I did knit 2 purl 2 ribbing for the cuff. I believe that is different from what is in the pattern, but I did knit 2 purl 2 ribbing for the cuff, 60 rounds for the leg. Heel is done, and I am into the gusset decreases. I'm doing 32-inch magic loop, US 1, 2.25 millimeter. Another thing I get asked often, and I've had a lot of questions about it recently, is do I have a favorite method? Why do I do this sock on this method versus that method? It's just whatever I feel like when I cast on. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just like, magic loop today. I haven't done DPNs in forever, so I feel like I'm about to go on a DPN kick, probably when summer sock camp starts. But we'll see. It's just whatever I feel like when it's time to cast on. Last sock project is one that I started the most recently out of the 3. This is the one that is for a friend. So these have kind of taken top priority. Scares me a little bit doing that because I want to get the Freckled Whimsy socks done within April. I really feel like I'm being told to knit these socks for this person, that they need them. They need a smile. They need a hug from me for their feet, I guess. But so I'm treating these kind of like a prayer shawl in a way, where you would pray for the individual while you're working on the item. That's kind of how I'm treating these socks. So prayer socks, never heard of that, but there we go. So the yarn I'm using, oh, first I should say, it's in a bag from Midwest Stitches. And the yarn I'm using is 3 by the Sea. In Tea and Wonderland is the main skein, and then Stark Raven Mad is the mini skein. This was a sock set I recently got from them. Look how awesome that is. So bright and cheerful. It's getting blown out because it is so bright. It's amazing. I decided to do the Rhinebeck Roomies sock pattern for this. This is another one of my sock patterns. This is one of the first ones that I ever did. Is it the first one? I don't know if it was the first one, but it's one of the first ones I ever did. I did do my pop of color at the cuff. I have a tutorial for that on YouTube. 20 rounds total for the cuff of knit 2 purl 2 rib. 60 rounds, no. 60 rounds for the leg, I believe. It is on my Ravelry project page. I used the mini for the pop of color and then for the heel, and then I'm also planning to use it for the toe. So just working along on these 9-inch circulars, US 0, 2 millimeter, all the usual. That pattern is one that is so fun to do. It is only a 4-round repeat, and it's so easy once you do the repeat a few times to see your knitting. So I don't even have to keep track with like my rows for that. It's so simple. Same with the heel toe do-si-do. That one's a 2-round repeat, and you can read your stitches and see which round you're on. Super simple. Those are my favorite kind of patterns. Okay, last thing that I have to show for works in progress is my plastic canvas. I'm so excited about it. I have been keeping this in a sewing basket. This is a vintage sewing basket that I found at one of the antique shops that we like to go to. And I've used it for a couple projects, and it's just perfect. The lid goes on there so nice. I would love to find another one of these. I see some in the shop sometimes, but they are not in as good a shape as this one. This one is in such good shape. Sometimes they've been colored on by kids, I would assume, or I don't know, someone just wanted to decorate it. And they'll have like strings with beads on them, and I just love this. I found another one that's very similar to this. I'm looking at it right now, but it didn't have the lid. So it just sits over there and holds some scraps. But this one's great for taking upstairs because my animals cannot get into it. I can put a project in there and it's just perfect. So anyways, maybe one day I will stumble across one of these again. I started a tissue box cover. I had some people ask when I started this, did you finish the snowman? No. If you've been around since, I don't remember when I started that, February, January, somewhere. I feel like after the first of the year, I started a snowman tissue box cover. No, that has not been finished. I put it aside because I wanted so badly to work on something for the house, but I want it to be something I can finish and then use, because that, like, the motivation when it comes to knitting, I'm a total process knitter. I can finish something and never use it when it comes to knitting and be like, that was fun. That, like, for me, it was the process that was fun. If I don't use it, that's okay. When it comes to plastic canvas or cross stitch, I'm definitely a product maker. I want the items for my home or for a gift, or there's a specific thing in mind, and it's not that I don't enjoy the process, but it's definitely more motivating for me to have that finished object in mind and knowing that's going to be something that's going to be in my home and I'm going to enjoy using or seeing, and it's going to bring me that joy. So I knew I didn't want to do the snowman because I'm like, we're going into summer. I'm not going to want to use that. I would, because I have used off-season ones when I finished them, but I really was like, okay, you have ones for summer, spring and summer-ish, so let's grab one of those and focus on that. So that's what I did. These are from almost, actually all of my plastic canvas tissue box covers I get from MaryMaxim.com. There's the name right there, Mary Maxim. And this is the Monarch tissue box cover. Isn't it so pretty? You can see, I mean, I don't really think I'm giving anything away if I show that part of it, but there's what all the sides look like. I have all the sides cut out. Well, first I've got like all the thread, yarn, whatever you'll call it, in some fancy Shamancy Ziploc sandwich bags. And all my sides are cut out. And then the top is pretty much done, other than one row of darker green here, and then like, can't think of the name of it, going around the edge of the inside in the darker. So this is 2 days worth. I'm like, why do you not just pick this up and work on it? 2 days of 30 minutes of knitting, finished that top piece. Now the sides, there is a lot of green, so I think they'll go fairly quickly, but they do have the flowers, the butterflies. But when I think about the two that I have already finished, they were like tiny little pieces that you had to cut out and then stitch on, and it was like putting a lot of things together in a lot more detail. I think this one's gonna go fairly quickly. So if I stick to my goal of 30 minutes a day, even if it's just through the week, sometimes on the weekends I don't always have time to cycle through so many things. But yeah, I think I can get that done. Maybe by the end of May. Maybe. That would be so awesome. I also pulled out, so I had showed a while back, I can't remember if it was here or on the membership, I'd picked out a cross stitch kit that I had in my stash of cross stitch kits, and that was what I was going to do next. Well, obviously I broke away from that and started a tissue box cover. And then while I was in there, I saw this. And I've been wanting to do some things for our bedroom. We don't have anything hanging on the walls, and I really want to do some things for our bedroom. So I think I'm gonna make this, but I'm also like, so I want to put this in the bedroom where nobody but me and Eric are gonna see it. We'll see. I could change my mind. This I purchased, I think it was off of Zulily, but they are no longer in business, which is a bummer because I always found the most random things on there that were great, and they always had cross stitch kits on sale. So I don't know, you may be able to find this on Amazon. I'll hold it there for a second so you can see the details. But it is a kit for either, you can make it a cushion. They do have the fabric in here for the cushion back as well. Or you can frame it, which is what I will do. I will frame it. So how beautiful is that? The kit has everything that you need. Take all the charts off here. Has all the thread sorted. You have your fabric for cross stitching on, and then your backing fabric if you choose to make the cushion. But like I said, I'm just gonna do it to frame it. The cushion would be gorgeous, don't get me wrong. It is beautiful, but I have a zoo of animals in my house, and no, no, they're not allowed on our beds, so, or on our bed, but still, no. I want to frame it. So that may be next. We'll see. I pulled it out and I was like, oh, I forgot about this. I want to do this so bad. It's going to take ages, I feel like, because it is very intricate and detailed. But man, it is beautiful. That would be so gorgeous hanging on the wall. All right. What do we have next? So I'm going to show mail, and then we're going to do just a couple of admin-y type discussion things about summer sock camp. Let y'all know what's going on with a couple of things. So mail, I ordered Leap of Faith. I have already forgotten. I think it's God's Creations. I could be wrong on the God's Landscapes. That's what it is. God's Landscapes monthly club. Received it. I had it when I recorded last Thursday, so I've had it for at least a week and a half. So I'm going to go ahead and show that. So here's her tag. And this month was Fiji. And look how beautiful that is. I think these are going to be socks for Eric. That could always change, but that's kind of the plan I have for them at the moment. There's also some little stitch markers, tiny little ones. I love those for socks. She included a Bible verse and a zipper pouch. So that was my first time ever ordering that club, and I love it. I definitely think I will order it again. I don't think I have two, the Yarnable, well, three if you count row one. Yarnable, Freckled Whimsy, row one. So I think those are still going to be the only three I get every month, but I definitely will be getting that one again. I did also get her Advent. I'm so excited about, is that one God's Creations? Let's pull up what her Advent is called. I've seen so many people talk about how amazing the past years have been. It's in God's Garden. I'm wrong again. Why do I have God's Creations stuck in my head for something? Is there like a club or something? Anyways, it's in God's Garden, highlighting trees, plants, and flowers of the Bible. There's the picture. So I did get that. I have seen so many people talk about how amazing last year's and previous years in general have been of her Advents, how she always goes just above and beyond. There's scripture included in the Advent, so I am so excited about that one. And I've been having some people ask, because there are so many Advents popping up, what ones I'm getting this year. I was only going to get one. I had purchased it. It is the Polka Dot Creek Elf Advent. The movie is the theme. And it's the Canadian yarn dyer one. So it's all different Canadian yarn dyers. This will be the third year that I will have gotten this Advent that Polka Dot Creek puts together. And I've loved the past 2 years that I've done it. It's so fun to have different yarn dyers each day, see their different dyeing styles, and find some new yarn dyers. So I got that one again. And then Molly of a Homespun House reached out to me, and I feel so lucky to know Molly. She's one of the most genuine people I have met throughout doing this. And she asked if she could gift me her Advent calendar, and I could not say no because I adore Molly and I love her yarn. So I will be getting Molly's again. So I now have 3. 3. I've had a lot of people ask, since I'm not doing Vlogmas this year, not doing day in the life vlogs in general anymore, will I be sharing the Advents here on the podcast? And yes, I don't know that I will sit down for a Thursday or whatever day, that could change by then, but whatever day I'm recording, I don't think I will sit here and be like, this was day 1, this was day 2, this was day 3. But I will still show the projects that I'm working on with it or something like that. Instagram stories, I will probably show pictures like December 1st. I will share a picture December 2nd. Not everyone's in the same time zone. I never want to spoil anything for anyone. So I will post pictures the day after I open them of my Advents on my Instagram stories. But yes, little Advent talk there, because they're popping up everywhere, seeing everyone's Advents come out. I am not sure if there's still elf ones available. I believe Leap of Faith still has some available. Molly at the Homespun House still has some available. I feel like they do a ton of the elf ones, so they may still have some available at Polka Dot Creek. You can check that out and see. But yeah. All right, so I have something else that I received. I got in the P.O. box a surprise. This is from Nicole of Cozy Corner CK. Show you her card here. And as always, I will have shops linked down below, but she sent over 2 project bags that are 80s, 90s retro themed, and I guess this one is 90s. It says right on there it's 90s, but look how fun. So she sent over 2 of these. She said, keep one, do whatever you want with them. So I'm going to keep this one. And I was like, should I save this for summer sock camp? But I thought, no, people are getting so excited for summer sock camp. Let's do a giveaway pre-summer sock camp for summer sock camp. So that's what we're going to do with this one. It is the same fabric. It's just a different color here on the top. I've kept it in the packaging here. But yeah, same fabric. The layout's a little different of it as far as like, that happens with fabrics when you cut them, but just a different color on the top. So all you have to do to enter for this giveaway is comment down below this video. Any comment will enter you to win. It's open worldwide as always, and I will draw a winner on the next episode, so episode 228, which should be next week. I will draw a winner from the comments below this video. I almost forgot, but we have a giveaway winner to announce. So this is for the giveaway from episode 226, and it is for the alpaca yarn. I didn't grab the bag to show, but it's right over there. For the alpaca yarn that I showed last time, the 2 skeins of that. So I'm going to put the winner's comment up here on the screen. Just a reminder, this was a giveaway that took place on YouTube, so make sure this is your YouTube comment that you left. And if you are this winner, please just contact me. It is Crafty Mama YouTube 9048. And you can verify that right here on the screen. So just email me at crazysockladypodcast@gmail.com. Give me your shipping information and I will get this sent out to you. All right, so summer sock camp, that'll kind of bring us into summer sock camp. Let me pull up. So over in the Crazy Sock Lady Ravelry group, which there's always a link for down below, pulling it up on my computer, we have quite a bit going on. So we have a list there's threads in the group. I've started a thread for summer sock camp prize donations. This is any shops that have donated prizes. I've not listed like individual people's names because I have had one, she probably wouldn't mind, but these are shops that I can link. So I've linked the shops so far that have donated items. As that grows and I verify everything with them, I will get more added. If you would like to donate a prize for summer sock camp, please just email me. I'm trying to do it a little. So far we have 1 pattern and 3 shops so far on the list. Like I said, I have some more that I'm talking to, but we're working out the details. Email me if you would like to donate a prize. I'm trying to have some sent out from the shops. So I just need some information as far as if you ship worldwide or you have like a restriction on where you ship to, what you're donating, etc. So just email me, crazysockladypodcast@gmail.com, and we can chat about that. So far, we have The Littlest Charm Co., JM Yarn, Sarah's Crochet Crafts, and those are the shops so far. Like I said, there's a couple more I'm talking to as well, but those are the ones I have all the details worked out for, and they're on my list. Then we also have a pattern. We have the Back to the 80s socks by Sock Knitters Club. And you can find the link for the shops, the link for the pattern. All of those are over in the Ravelry thread for summer sock camp prize donations. Then I have also started the list that I talked about of shops that have 80s/90s themed items. So we have one that's yarn, and it got kind of tricky because I'm like, some could have more, like some have progress keepers and yarn and bags. So I'm trying to break it up in case you're just hunting for yarn, but know that there could be some crossover things there as well. So we have a list for yarn, and then we have a list for like bags, progress keepers, stitch markers, notions, etc. And if you have a shop and you have 80s, 90s themed items, same email, crazysockladypodcast@gmail.com, and send me a link for the shop and I will get it added. So I also opened up the chatter thread because so many people are so excited. So I already opened up the chatter thread. There's already 426 posts over in the chatter thread. Y'all are so excited, which I am too. And then the last thing, Sharon, her Instagram is Seashore Sharon. I love Sharon. And she wanted to know if she could open up a thread for postcards or cards or anything like that for summer sock camp. So there is a thread over there for that if you want to connect to some people, send some mail out. And I think that's so much fun because who doesn't love getting something other than junk mail or a bill in your mail? It is so much fun. So she's not coordinating like a swap or anything like that. It's just you pop in that thread, you find some people you want to connect with, make some friends, send some mail out, get some mail. Yeah, just like she said in the thread, just make a connection. And I think that's great because for me, that's so much of the joy of summer sock camp is people connecting and coming together. So this is a way to take that even further. And maybe make a friend. So I love that. All right, so that's everything that's been opened up words in the Crazy Sock Lady Ravelry group. That was the easiest place. Keeps it all in one spot. Easy to manage. So you can find that link for that down below. All right, I think that's all the knitting, summer sock camp stuff. I did write down some reading, watching, not much life stuff. It's just really, knock on wood, been business as normal. I have some family coming into town today, so we're excited about that. And yeah, that's it. Puppy's doing good, settling in nicely. That's about all I have for life stuff. Watching, we are still keeping up with Survivor as it comes out, and we are watching Alone. I have no idea what season it is though that we're watching. This one hasn't really caught my attention, and I don't really have anyone I like, so that's probably why I don't even know what season it is. But we're watching that. I'm mostly knitting, and I think Eric's into this season more than I am, but reading. So I have been sharing that I was reading the Kate Burkholder series by Linda Castillo. I love the story as far as like, I always like a psychological thriller type book. But I was on the second one and I actually stopped reading it. There was just a bit too much, like I don't get like grossed out or I don't know, the details about murders and stuff, it doesn't gross me out. I can read it and not feel like sick or it's nothing like that. I just felt like ugh about reading it. I don't know. It wasn't giving me a good feeling when I finished reading every day. It was like there's too much of that. The story itself was really good, but I just couldn't get past a lot of that. And there would be so much that I just felt about reading it. And then I hated to have to skip so much of it. So I actually stopped reading that. I think I was like maybe halfway through the second book and I stopped. Yeah, I just didn't feel that good about reading it. So yeah, I stopped that series. I don't know if I'll go back to it ever, but for now I just didn't feel good about reading it. So I stopped that, and I looked up, so I have Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, I used to read. My mother-in-law was reading them too, and we loved I think it's the Baxter Family series by Karen Kingsbury. I don't know how you pronounce that. I think probably Kingsbury. I don't know, but we loved that series. There are a ton of books in it. I don't remember if we read them all. This was so many years ago. But I thought, let me see if any of her books are on Kindle Unlimited. I would love to read that series again. It's been so long. And I know that I loved it. And I know that it was like books that left me feeling good when I read them. But there were none. I take that back. I think there might have been like one Karen Kingsbury book on there. But in looking those up, it brought up like other suggested ones. And one that was on Kindle Unlimited is called The Secret Obituary Writer. It's by Amy Martinson. It's I believe it's a 3-book series. I'm on book 1. This is what I've been reading while I am running on the treadmill, and I'm really enjoying it. It's like uplifting. It's clean, I guess. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. It's not giving me icky vibes and feelings when I read it. So I've really been enjoying that. I think it's just the space I'm in right now. I just don't want anything that leaves me like, ugh, when I'm done reading it. So, or while I'm reading it, whatever. But really enjoying that. Definitely think I'll continue and read the whole series. It's a very cute kind of a book. That's kind of all I have. That's kind of it. I've chatted for quite a while today, I feel like. And I have a lot of cleaning and things I want to get done today. I was checking to see if I had any messages. I'm not sure what time family is leaving to head this way. So I'm keeping an eye out to see, because I know once they leave, I have about 3 hours, maybe closer to 3.5, I don't know, to finish and wrap up all the things around the house. This will be the first time we've had family come visit since we got Piper. So I'm excited for my mother-in-law's who's coming. I'm excited for her to meet Piper. I've been working so much with Piper. And I never knew that I loved this until Dexter. And with Dexter, we'd had, a couple dogs by that point, and we'd had them when our kids were young is when we got them. So I feel like it's not that you cannot train your dogs. You can. But when you have young kids, they kind of take priority. So you don't have as much time and energy to put into training your dogs. So when we got Dexter, it was like, I have this time now. My kids are older. I have this time to put into training him. And I have worked so hard with Dexter. And he is not a perfect dog. No animal is perfect. So he's not perfect. He still does things that drive me bonkers sometimes. He's a jumper and he gets so excited when people come over. So that's something I want to continue working with on Dexter. But I went through puppy classes with him. Did we go through like 3 rounds of puppy classes, or was it just 2? I can't remember now. And he did so good in them. And I just found so much, I don't even know how to describe it, but I loved it. I loved the training. I loved that connection that you make with the animal. And yeah, anyway, so I'm enjoying it with Piper, and I'm starting working with her so much younger than I did with Dexter, and because he was just so little and so cute, and I knew he was going to stay little, so we didn't get onto him as much about jumping and work with him as much, and I wish we would have. So it's something that I'm going to work on now that I'm working with Piper on it, and she's really, I just started working with her yesterday. I was watching all kinds of videos on YouTube, good grief, what did we do before YouTube? For things to do to work with them on jumping, and I did some practice with her on my own, and then when Wyatt came home, I practiced with him. When Austin came home, I practiced with him. When Eric came home, I practiced with him. And I'm trying to make everybody be on the same page. I think that's the hardest part, is having every person in your house being on the same page. Because they're so cute, and you're just like, oh, I don't care. They're a puppy. They jump. But she's going to be We're not sure exactly how big because we don't know what the dad was and his size, but mom was about 45 pounds, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. So she's not going to be a super tiny little dog. And I don't want the jumping to be something she always does, and then we have more of a problem trying to break it later, like Dexter. So I'm starting so young with her. And even after just working with her yesterday, she's doing so much better. So much better. It's just like that excitement and that like, I did that. Like I worked with her and I taught her that, and that hard work and the consistency pays off. And this is not a dog podcast, so I apologize, but it's just something I really enjoy doing, is working with our dogs, training them, seeing them learn things. I don't know. I enjoy it. This is what happens when your kids get older. I think, I don't know. It's what is happening with me anyways. So, all right. I think that's all I've got today. As usual, if I start talking about life stuff, I get rambly. So y'all are welcome. I'm going to hop off here and go get all the things done, and I will see y'all again next week. Don't forget, if you want to enter for the prize, just comment down below and that will enter you to win, and I will draw the winner next episode. It'll be for the bag that looks like that with the different color fabric on the top. But all right, I will see y'all next week for a regular episode. Until then, happy making. Bye.